All right, everybody. Some words of wisdom, maybe, from a guy who makes a lot of mistakes. My name is Rich Lennon. We talk about growing the money every morning from 9 to 9:10. Try to figure out how to get out of that rat race, get out of our own way sometimes. All right, I'm gonna jump right into it. I make a lot of mistakes. I don't know about you, but as an entrepreneur, as a driver, I'm kind of going in a million different directions at once. And it's not uncommon for me to make a mistake. I hope my wife is not listening to this or my children, but that is the truth. And I want to talk about how to deal with that. And I want to give you an example. Okay, so I run a local, it's not a RIA, but it's a local meetup. And I schedule once a month, I do a happy hour and I do a breakfast. And I schedule those times because I don't seem to have another chance to interact with people on a one on one basis. And I don't necessarily like to do that. Let's go out, let's get coffee, and let's talk strategy kind of strategy. So I schedule a breakfast. And last week, I woke up and I totally forgot my own breakfast. I had thought about it on the Sunday before. I had thought about it on the Friday. We had put out marketing for it. I went to bed thinking about I had to get up for that breakfast and had to go there. But as often happens with old men or old women, I cannot speak for everybody, um, but I can't. All right, I got distracted. All right, my child came in. All right, so I got distracted, and that happens even right there. And I got the hold on, I got to take a sip of my coffee here. And I just got into my routine. I just woke up. I do the things that I do every day. I sit outside. I like to have a cup of coffee. And then I came on here and I did my presentation, or I did my podcast here. And one of my friends texted me and he said, "Hey, should I order you something?" I really didn't know what that was about. So I just kind of ignored it. And then it really wasn't for another hour, hour and a half until I realized that I had totally forgotten to go to the breakfast. And there were a bunch of people that had gone there specifically to sit down and talk to me. All right, I felt terrible about it, and I just want to give you some advice and some of the things that I have learned when you make a mistake. This is how you handle it, so you can kind of turn that lemon into a little bit of lemonade. All right, so here's number one thing you got to do: just own it. Don't come up with some stupid excuse about why it happened. Just own it and go out and say that you forgot or whatever it is, the mistake you did. Don't put it off on someone else. Don't put it off with some random excuse. Just own it and admit that what you did was incorrect and that it was a mistake. All right. Number two, apologize. You'd be surprised how far a simple look you in the eye, mean it apology will go towards people. People want the best from you. They will forgive you for your mistakes as long as you respect their feelings, as long as you respect their time, and you just apologize for it and you are sincere and you really do mean it. Okay. Number three, you got to make it right. You got to make effort to go and correct the thing that you did wrong. And in this case, all I had to do was I scheduled another breakfast for the following week. And I just said, okay, I owned it. I said, oh, I just totally forgot. No excuses. I apologized to the people that were there that did not meet me. And then I rescheduled, took time out of my calendar. They had to take time out of their calendar again, by the way, to come out and meet you. And just make it up and give them what you originally promised that you would give them. It goes a huge way. And then number four, and this is a kind of a big one, you have to sometimes in business, you have to be willing to take the financial loss when you make a mistake. Now, in this case, it was fairly simple. I just bought everybody breakfast that had come to meet me last time, and I wasn't there. And so I took the financial hit, which in this case, I don't know, it's a little over $100. It's not a lot of money, but taking that financial loss can be a big deal. And it happens in business as well. And I'll give you an example. Your lazy money. So sometimes when you go to do the closings at a table, your lazy money may wire the money before the closing is ready. And they might have to get the money back if it doesn't close, and they get some expenses that go along the way with that. That's a really good example of a mistake that was happened that you can proactively support your business and support your partners by going in and paying those fees. And another one can happen where your lazy money will go and you say, okay, send the money to closing, but then in reality, it doesn't close for another week. And so a lot of times people will get into the debate of, okay, if I send the money to the attorney to close, when does the clock start for the interest that I'm going to receive back? Does it start from the day that the money leaves my bank account? Or does it start the day the note is originated and that you actually do the transaction? And if you make the mistake and you tell the lazy money, and sometimes it might not even be your mistake, by the way, you tell that lazy money to send the money early, and then that money sits in an escrow for a week before a closing is done. I would encourage you to accept that as a mistake, and you should be paying your lazy money the interest associated with that money sitting in an account. And I had a situation one time where my lazy money was held up by an attorney for a month, and the attorney refused to give the money back. It wasn't my mistake. There's nothing I could do about it. In fact, I had to hire an attorney to yell at that other attorney to give the lazy money their money back. Long story, I'll tell it another day. But it was an example of I reached into my pocket and I paid over $1,000 in interest to that lazy money partner, even though the mistake was not mine. I followed the general rules. We owned it. I didn't, even though I was really mad at the other attorney, we owned the mistake as the business. And then we apologized for the mistake. And then we made it right by tracking and making sure they got their money back. And then we took the financial L to give them the money that they were due for interest, even though the deal never transpired. Now, I will tell you that that private money lender was willing to do, that lazy money lender was willing to do more deals with me because of the way that I handled the situation after the mistake. People make mistakes. You, I promise you, will make mistakes. I make mistakes all the time. You will make more business from your mistakes, ironically, based on how you handle the situation and do you accept ownership for it. Those people around you will respect it. They'll respect you more as a business person, and more money will come. My name is Rich Lennon. We talk about growing the money every morning. If you're interested in learning how to be a private money lender, hook me up at richlennon.com. Download the Smarter Wealth Blueprint. And if you're still interested and you say, hey, Rich, I want to make 30 to 50% returns on the money. How do you structure those deals? Hit me up with a growth call and we'll figure it out together. All right, I will see you soon.